So today we did our warm-up on using a protractor, measuring angles, and also creating angles. And now we have some vocab that we need to understand. We're going to start with first putting our name, date, and period on that white sheet. So I forgot to put a name line on here, so please write your name, date, and period in case you lose it and I find it, I know whose it is. Okay? And then your first word is going to be congruent. Okay? I want you to notice about congruent, it says same size and same shape. Notice in the pictures in the top right, everything is a shape or a figure. None of those are numbers. So a lot of people say, isn't congruent the same thing as equal? And they're not the exact same. Here's the big difference. Congruent has to do with shapes and figures, but equals has to do with numbers, measurements, values. Okay? So you'll notice your congruent symbol on the bottom right is not an equal sign. It is a equal sign with a squiggly, if you want to call it that. Okay? So you got that equal squiggle. So, let's see here. So back up. There you go. All right, so that's congruent. Okay, our second word is going to be midpoint. Like the name implies, it is a point in the middle of a segment. It's right in the middle, meaning that the two parts that it creates are equal. They are equal in their measurement, or we would say they are congruent. Okay, so writing this down on another one of those little crosses, it's a point that divides a segment in half. There's an example with our glass of water. And I want you to notice, anytime you have congruent things, you want to make sure that you put these tick marks on them. Okay? Tick marks let me know that you know that they're equal. Okay? So again, for a midpoint, it's in the middle, and you have to put those tick marks. Our next word is segment bisector. Now, in science class, what's a word that sounds like bisect? Dissect, right? So maybe, I don't know if any of y'all have dissected either a frog or a pig fetus or whatever, okay? But it's a baby pig. I know. So, but a segment bisector, it's not just cutting it, it's bisecting it, meaning bi is the prefix for two, so it cuts it into two equal parts, okay? So notice how it says cuts exactly in half. That means the two halves have to be equal. So again, notice on the picture, equal, equal. A segment bisector can be a line segment, a ray, or even a plane. Anything that cuts it exactly in half. And you can see on the examples that they show it with these tick marks. You gotta label them when you do this. Right here. All right, so moving on to our next one, we got angle bisector. Very similar to segment bisector. This time it's just bisecting something else. It's cutting an angle in half, okay? Cuts that angle in half. If it's exactly in half, then we know they're equal angles, so we have to put these little tick marks. Okay, they have to match. Look at the non-example, those don't match. It's not exactly in the middle. But an angle bisector is exactly in the middle. All right, so angle bisector. Now our next one's going to be perpendicular. We had something like this on our assignment before. So this is a throwback to Algebra 1, but it's when lines intersect, but it's not just intersecting. They have to make a right angle. So we got plaid stitch. We got part of some of these bars. And you notice the perpendicular symbol right here at the top right. Very important. If you look at the examples right here, there's a symbol. It looks like an upside down T. That means something is perpendicular. It makes a right angle. Okay? So anytime you see a perpendicular sign, you know that it's going to be 90 degrees. All right, we're going to do the last two together here. And I'm going to put them on both boards. So we got perpendicular. Our next one is... Sorry, little mess up there. we have perpendicular bisector, which is when a line that's perpendicular. All right, I keep messing up. Hold on. No. Can I just undo? No. What am I doing? And I'm recording it. Okay, well, we'll erase it. All right, so here we are, perpendicular bisector. Sorry about that. So it's a line that's perpendicular passing through the midpoint of a line, of a ray, or segment. Okay, mainly just a line. Sorry, and it's being bisected. So again, bisector means two tick marks. Perpendicular means you're going to have that right angle. So I got that over there. And then your last word is going to be parallel. We know lines that never intersect.